has to take the bodies of his 3-year-old and 4-year-old daughters, and he's got to basically stuff them into these tanks.
How do you put someone you love into an oil tank?
Especially your children.
I think he's sick. Because he was trying to get me, and I think he's sick. I think he's sick.
I hadn't seen him for a long time. When I was living up in Washington, he came and he seen me. And we went for a walk out in the apple orchard, because I was working at an apple orchard. And he grabbed my boot.
I think two consenting adults, whatever they deem is right, is right. You know, to hell with what the rest of us. There's having sex with your daughter ain't right. There's a lot of guys that do it.
I went like that and just said, knock it out. And I headed back to the house.
To kill someone, that's definitely wrong. But to have sex with a stepsister, I don't see where that is all that wrong.
Well, half-sister, you have the same brother. Okay. What advice would you give Harry? How do you feel about it?
I won't put myself in anything that's going to be wrong with me.
It started when I was 2. I was 2 years old instead of molested. And then it ended when I was 8, 78. Sick man.
He started molesting me after you get fired. He started doing sex with me, like trying to put his, you know what, inside of me. I was too small.
When I was 3, that's when I started with his penis. It started when I was 2. I was 2 years old instead of molested. And then it ended when I was 8, 78. Sick man.
He started to molest me at the age of 5. He started doing sex with me, like trying to put his, you know what, inside of me. I was too small.
When I was 3, that's when I started with his penis. It started when I was 2. I was 2 years old instead of molested. And then it ended when I was 8, 78. Sick man.
He started to molest me at the age of 5. He started doing sex with me, like trying to put his, you know what, inside of me. I was too small.
When I was 3, that's when I started with his penis. It started when I was 2. I was 2 years old instead of molested. And then it ended when I was 8, 78. Sick man.
He started to molest me at the age of 5. He started doing sex with me, like trying to put his, you know what, inside of me. I was too small.
When I was 3, that's when I started with his penis. It started when I was 2. I was 2 years old instead of molested. And then it ended when I was 8, 78. Sick man.
He started to molest me at the age of 5. He started doing sex with me, like trying to put his, you know what, inside of me. I was too small.
When I was 3, that's when I started with his penis.
I just had what is probably the most erotic experience I've had in my entire life. I just hate to say it. I mean, of course, because I haven't had that many experiences, but Susan has been feeling ill. She had a cold. And I offered to rub her feet, to rub her toes, to give her some stimulation. That went on. I probably rubbed her feet, her toes, her beautiful feet. She has such pretty feet. Of course, everything about her is pretty, beautiful. And I know she felt it. She couldn't have missed it. She's not naive either. I know from what I've read in her journals. That girl is not naive. When I started massaging her legs, I would have loved to go all the way up her legs, but I did do her calves because her feet were resting in my crotch, so I sort of rubbed her calves. She didn't seem to mind at all having me that close. I mean, I was close. I was touching her with my crotch. then I just started rubbing her back and her neck and her shoulders. I didn't want to push my luck. Josh was sitting across the room on the chair, and he wasn't always watching, so I sort of took liberties as he didn't watch. And I put my hands around to the front, and I did feel her breasts, at least to some degree. I didn't put my hands, and I would cup my hands over them, but I felt the sides and a little bit on the underneath, and she had an underwire bra on, it's hard to remember everything I did. Yeah, I love that woman. She is so beautiful. I can't even get enough of her. Can't get enough of looking at her. She's so pretty. And I held her arm and I held her hand. I cupped her hand in mine, her beautiful little hands. And I rubbed her forearm and I massaged it all up and down. Massaged it for a long time. I went up her sleeve. She didn't even mind. She seemed to enjoy it. I mean, I put my hand up
We believe that probably she died first. At that point, he probably had the children in the garage with him in that suicide attempt. When that failed, then the children were subsequently killed, and then the suicide attempt at Laura City Park occurred after that, followed by the accident on the interstate. There was no specific reason why he did this. The messages in the note basically contained apologies for his action and his feeling of despair over what had happened.
And by that you mean embezzlement charges?
Probably partially the embezzlement charges and the effect that had on him and his family, yes. There was nothing in our investigation that indicated there was any kind of domestic situation prior to this that may have led up to this. Most people we spoke to described it as an ideal family. Obviously they had their problems here recently, but he was described as a kind, loving father, and he and his wife got along well.
Tell me exactly what happened. My boyfriend is trying to break into my house right now. He is like busting through the window. I need an officer here, like right now. Okay, and were weapons involved you mentioned? He's busting into my window right now. I understand that. Does he have a weapon? I don't know. I'm not going close to him. I can hear. Okay, does he have access to weapons? Yes, probably. He's busting into the window right now. Okay, do you know what type of weapons he has access to? No, I don't. Please, somebody, I'm getting the information for the officers while they're responding. Can you go into a room and shut the door? No. Yes, I have to. Okay, can you go into the room and Hello? Ma'am? Hello? Hello? Melissa? Hello?
911 may help you.
Oh, yes, I need an officer.
What's wrong?
Oh, I'm just stressed out, and I'm about to take my life.
What's your name?
It's unknown.
Okay, do you have a weapon with you?
Huh?
Do you have a weapon with you?
Yes.
What do you have, sir?
A 44. Get in there.
Don't point at me.
What's going on?